Hey everyone, time to learn more stuff. Production and post-production has its own language, its own lexicon. But as we adopt more and more cloud components into our media workflows, we need to incorporate more terms, and my favorite, acronyms, into our vocabulary. I'm Michael Kammes, and this is Explaining Cloud Terms for postPerspective. Remember back in the 90s when the term ISP popped up? That's your internet service provider. It's the company whose services got you online. Now, CSP is very similar. It stands for Cloud Service Provider, meaning it's the company whose cloud services that you utilize online. The biggies are usually Amazon's AWS, Microsoft's Azure, and Google's GCP. All of these offer hardware and software to not only store content, but also to manipulate it. Other providers like Wasabi or Backblaze are also CSPs, but only really offer one thing: storage. As I'm pretty sure you already know, the cloud is just someone else's data center, and they can either be public or private. The location of these data centers is what is known as regions. In AWS, for example, the US West 1 region is located in San Jose, California. Now, this is important, as anyone located in this part of the country would probably be best served to use this region for faster access to the services that CSP provides. However, faster access and being located near heavily populated areas usually means a slightly elevated price. Thus, it falls on you to decide what region or regions you want to use to balance cost and latency. What's latency, you ask? Latency, with the cloud, is the delay it takes for an action to occur. When it comes to cloud computing, this is usually measured in milliseconds. As an example, think of how long it takes for you to request a web page and for it to load fully on your screen. That time is latency. If you're using the cloud for real-time functions like video or VFX editing, latency is the great equalizer. When you hit play on your timeline and it's referencing media in a data center thousands of miles away, there's going to be a slight delay between your key press and the results showing up on your screen, and it will drive you absolutely crazy! So the key is to use a CSP who has a data center in a nearby region in addition to reducing things on your end, which will add more latency. Things like using Wi-Fi or working on a busy network or having those 60 tabs open in Chrome while you're streaming Netflix, which I know you're doing. Storage in the cloud is one of the most misunderstood things out there about the cloud. It's also pretty boring, so I understand why it's misunderstood. Cloud storage mirrors the usual multiple storage type that we have in our office. This is known as a tiered storage approach. Maybe we should review that first. First, we have online storage, which is usually a fast SAN or NAS that you work directly from. It's also known as Tier 1. It's the most expensive type of storage. And as a side note, I know the name is online. This tier of storage was named before the internet exploded, and thus online, in this context, doesn't mean on the internet online. It means always available to the end user online. Next, we have nearline storage. And nearline storage is usually a larger capacity, but a slower NAS. It is the content you occasionally need, but you're not working from it all day long. This is known as Tier 2 storage and is less expensive than the fast Tier 1 storage. We then get into backup or archive, which is usually dirt cheap media that will rarely, if ever, be utilized. Thus, they're slower than other storage tiers and not always immediately accessible. They're also known as Tier 3 and Tier 4 storage, respectively. So, how does this play into the cloud? Well, I'm glad you finally asked. CSPs have adopted the same methodology, and that means the performance and pricing differs. So, your online Tier 1 storage in the cloud, the fastest and most available, is also the most expensive. In AWS, for example, this is what's known as EBS, or Elastic Block Storage. Block storage provides faster access for many applications and increased speeds with lower latency. Less expensive tiers of cloud storage, like S3 or even Wasabi or Backblaze, Dropbox, and Google Drive, use object storage under the hood and are meant as holding areas for media, not to be used in real time for best performance. Egress fees, to me, are a slap in the face. CSPs allow you to upload all of the content you want, and you pay for that in terms of space that you use per month. But let's say you want to download that content or move it to another CSP. Well, certain CSPs feel that you should pay for each bit and byte that you move off of their platform. This is what's known as egress charges, and nobody likes them. Now, prices vary wildly, but a good ballpark is $75 per terabyte of media move off of the CSP. And there you have it, your primer on cloud terms for post-production. So, do you want to learn more about Post? Continue to check out postPerspective or my tech web series, 5 Things. Now, sharing this would be great too, as would a subscribe and a click of that reminder bell. As always, thanks for watching.